Hey guys, Breach here. I think you know what this is from the title of the video. Dragon Quest XI. This is actually a second recording because when I had to do all my settings and crap to no fleeing for okay, Draconian Quest settings. You can have these restrictions, so don't be afraid. You can always change it. Okay, I think I'm going to leave those off for now. Unless they have to do with a trophy later. But yeah, I'm re-recording this. Had the whole opening section recorded, but the game audio was so loud you couldn't hear any of my voice. So, this will not be blind. We have one thing that I want to touch on while we're doing our opening cinematic here. I'm not going to be reading a lot of comments. This is going to be a different kind of series than the rest of Dragon Conquest has been. For the rest of Dragon Conquest, I was trying to race through it, trying to get as much of it done before this game came out. I started it before we even had a release date for this, with the idea that this would come out in like November, December, maybe early next year. And I thought maybe I could have them all done by now, which is not the case. So this is going to be taking the 3 o'clock Eastern time slot. The rest of Dragon Conquest will be taking an earlier time slot in the day, probably about 11 o'clock Eastern. So it's going to be more work on me. But I'm going to do these in a much less planned fashion. Oh, I thought there is dialogue here.
This child, he is the one. There's the mark. There's no mistaking it.
These are going to be done as blind as possible. Like this first section that I had already recorded was as much as I'd really seen of the game before. I'm not going to be looking at walkthroughs. I'm going to try to avoid comments as much as I can. And I want to experience this game the way that Dragon Quest is meant to be done. And I want to show it off in that way too. You know, good chunks over a period of time to fully absorb the game. One of the reviews, I think it was Tim Rogers, equated Dragon Quest to be like bedtime stories. You play it for 30 minutes to an hour before bed over a longish period of time. And it warms you up inside. And I think that's the approach I want to take for this. I don't want to rush through it like we have been the other ones. So the videos might be a little more ambling around. I'm going to talk to a lot more NPCs, just getting the full flavor of it. I'll also do all of the post-game for this. So we can see if maybe we get that PlayStation 4 version of Dragon Warrior 1 or Dragon Quest 1. In which case, I'll play through that too. Now I want to get back to gushing on just how gorgeous this game is. Like the water effects as they were running through the mud there, the trees, the landscapes, oh my god. Like look at that. That is beautiful. A little water droplet hitting baby in the nose. Then we have Grandpa Gohan here fishing and discovering the lost child.
Oh my! What in heavens are you doing here? And after that awful storm too. However did you survive? Oh, you're a jolly one. What's this? You poor thing. Come here. Come here. Oh, there's no need to be frightened anymore. You're safe now, little fellow.
These won't be near as heavily edited as the rest of Dragon Conquest either. I'm just going to enjoy the game and show off to you what it is about first playthroughs of this series that really strike home with a lot of people. And here, we have Hero 11 and our adoptive sister, Gemma, standing out, looking over the landscape at the world tree in the distance, seeing just how big and beautiful the world can be. And we have Pupper Friend, our best friend.
Thanks so much, you're a lifesaver.
I'm also going to let the voice acting play out.
Trust me to lose my headscarf just before the big ceremony.
Because that's part of the draw for the American version of this game.
So it's finally here, the big day. I can't believe we're going to be climbing all the way up there. Looks like Sandy's keen to lead the way. Come on, best not keep her waiting.
Now, I did discover some stuff just dorking around here. That's the way back to town. They're not going to let us go back there yet. We have to go do our rite of passage first. To think you and Jim are all grown up already. I can remember you two little ones herring around the place causing trouble like it was yesterday. Ah, time flies. It really does. Path gets pretty steep up on the tour, so be sure to watch your footing. But don't let that make you stick to the beaten track. Little detours are where you find all the fun stuff. Oh, how right she is. So it's time for you to head up the tour, I hear. Mind you don't slip. It's a long way down. Oh, don't worry. Hero 11 will never let me fall. Ah, what would you do without him, eh? Well, Hero 11, you heard the lady. Make sure she comes to no harm. Symbols on the side of Tor represent the spirit of the land, you know? The spirit has always watched over the people of Cobblestone. Coming of Age ceremony is one of the ways we show our gratitude for its protection. Now, it also appears that this game is just chock full of references to the earlier games. Like in Dragon Quest VII, or Dragon Warrior 7, we had Mount Tor, was one of the locations in the game. Had the spirits of the land. What do you got to say, lady? You know, the mayor and your mother are waiting to see you off at the top of the steps, don't you? Don't keep them waiting, dear. Oh, and remember, if you're ever in need of some advice or you're stuck on what to do, you have to chat with folks with pretty pink speech bubbles over their heads like me. Just press square and look at the map. You can't miss us. While you're looking at the map, excuse me, use right stick to change direction you're facing. It's a handy little trick. Yeah, you can control everything here. We have the full mini-map. Triangle pulls up your typical menu. Circle gives you a jump. We have a jump button. And X is your command. Yeah, I'm not sure I've ever seen the two of you apart. And to think, you're all grown up already. Is that wedding bells I hear? Grandma, honestly. Oh, let old woman have her fun, will you? Now, Hero 11, you look after my lovely granddaughter, you hear? Of course, in the Japanese version, the X and the circle buttons are switched on what they do. So, you can't rely on that too terribly much. I don't think we get any items this far down the mountain. Good luck, Hero 11. I wish I was grown up like you. I can't wait to climb the tour. Hero 11, seeing you and my daughter, dear Jim, all set for your big day makes me proud as anything, both as mayor and as a grandfather. You're not kids anymore, you know? No, you're grown up now. And that means going to the tour and offering your thanks. Now it's time you're on your way. Head up to the top, give praise to the spirit of the land, and come back down and tell us how you like the view. Oh, and if you're ever unsure on what to do next, try pressing triangle and selecting Party Talk. Jim might have some useful tips for you. Just look at you, Hero 11, my little boy, all grown up. Now be sure to look after Gemma, you hear? To think you've been inseparable since you were tiny, and here you are, about to climb the tour together. Oh, and if you ever lose your way, just follow Sandy. That dog's got more sense than any of us. Well, if you do, dear, I know the two of you will be just fine, and I'll make sure there's a delicious supper waiting when you get back. Yeah, we have Party Talk right here. It's our big day. We finally get to do the ceremony. We're going to be grown-ups at last. Looks like Sandy's as excited as we are. Come on, let's get moving. We don't want her to get to the top before us. As we get more party members, we can talk to all of them. The path ahead will at times be a steep one, but fear not, my children, for the spirit of the land shall watch over you. May your climb teach you how truly blessed we are to live among such beautiful surroundings. We will pray for your safe return. Cool. Just look at that view. It's beautiful, isn't it? Whenever you find somewhere with lovely scenery like this, you should take the time to stop and bask in the wonder of nature. It always does me the power of good. Yes, it does. Oh my god, look at how beautiful it is. Nothing hidden over here. Oh dearie me, where can that boy have got to this time? I just hope he hasn't decided to go up the tour on his own. No, he wouldn't be that stupid, surely. That'll be the death of me, that one. Okay. So there's going to be a child up there that we need to keep an eye out for. And... oh, we got too close to Sandy. Look up at the tour. We get to climb all the way to the top of that.
Humble folk of cobblestone, great land spirits, hearth and home. That's how it goes, isn't it?
She's talking about the prayer that we have to say at the top.
My granddad's been teaching me the prayer ever since I was little. He reckons the spirit of the land really does live on Cobblestone Tor, you see. As long as I can remember, he's been preparing me for this day. The day it would finally be my turn to climb all the way up there and offer my thanks. I just wonder whose idea it was in the first place, sending the village's young folk on such a dangerous errand. What if I take a tumble and do myself a mischief? Well, not to worry. Since you and me were born on the same day, I'm lucky enough to have a bodyguard along for the journey. Come on then. That craggy old thing won't climb its...
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Sandy sees something. Wants to interrupt Gemma on this one. And we have our tutorial battle against slimes.
Ah! Monsters! They're coming this way.
Oh, it makes me feel so good inside. Now, in battle we have two camera modes. It starts you on the default for like a free ranging battle. You can hold... oh, I accidentally let go. You can hold the L2 button down and move around for different positioning and view. And as soon as you let go of it, you attack. I'm going to be switching it over to the classic camera as soon as we're done with this battle, but this is an option you have. It's kind of cool. I don't know that I'm going to use it that much, but it's nifty in its own right. So from that battle, we get a medicinal one.
Crikey, I wasn't expecting that. I know they were only little, but I'd have been done for if you and Sandy hadn't been here to help me.
And Sandy wants to rush off ahead.
And now we've got to go through that horrible, dingy cave. Just our luck. I'll bet you anything that's where those awful things came from. Well, as long as you're with me, I've got nothing to worry about. Come on, let's get going.
Now, one of the things I found exploring around in that first time is back over behind here. Let's see, can we examine this? Humble folks of Cobblestone, great land spirits, hearth and home. Blessed are we since days of yore, let it be forevermore. And behind there is a pot lid. Now, we start out with either the cobblestone sword or the cobblestone greatsword, which will greatly increase our attack. I'm going to stick with the cobblestone sword for now so that we can equip this pot lid. I don't think we get enough of a boost to our attack. Oh, we start out with the Dragon Quest VIII clothes. Because I got this on launch day. So we can look like the hero from DQ8. And it actually gives a defensive buff. So for now, I'll wear that. But the Trodain, named after King Trode, and that entire province area. Now, also, I wanted to talk about, like I said, I'm recording this, or I'm re-recording this, but I'm recording it on the launch night for this game. Went to go pick it up 9 o'clock at GameStop, because they'll do that now, instead of the midnight releases, which is nice. It gives you a lot more time with the game night of. Kind of wish this would have come out the Friday before the 3-day weekend, but, you know, beggars can't be choosers, Square Enix. Just kind of silly to do a Western release right after a 3-day weekend. Back up here, we have a medicinal herb as a little collectible. And let's jump back down. More monsters, but I don't think they've spotted you yet. You should sneak up and surprise them. Yeah, you can press X to get a preemptive attack and get some bonus damage in. Kind of like a Paper Mario style system, and I haven't switched over the camera yet. I need to do that right after this battle. And I don't know if we're going to get to a point where that, oh, we have MP. Yeah, she'll use medical herbs and potions on you to get your HP and MP back up. Let's go over here. System settings, battle mode. I want to go to classic camera. Camera controls I'm fine with. Display, volume settings. Voices I want to leave up. I want to probably drop down sound effects and music a bit. And that's all I want to mess with for now. And I'm not going to cut out any of the battles in this episode, because I want to show off the game before we start cutting crap out. Damn, that was a good little fight.
Phew.
This is already going smoother than my first one. And I think, if I remember right, we should hit level 2 right here off of this battle. Gemma worriedly watches. Okay.
Tough little blighters, aren't they?
Yep, level 2.
You.
And we're getting... Okay, so the stat rolls are different. They're random within a range. So it's not like a static stat growth like in Dragon Warrior 1 based on your name. Because we got some definitely different stat growths that time than we had on attempt 1 at recording this. Slimes make their first strike. Yes, monsters can get a preemptive strike as well. Sometimes you'll get the preemptive, sometimes the monsters will. Also, like all Dragon Quest, the monsters have stat ranges for their HP. So, like, when a slime died to 6 damage a little bit ago, and that one just tanked 6 plus the one from the preemptive, yeah. And we're about to see something that's not a slime come up, and they're an interesting little bunch. I'll wait to talk to them about them until we're fighting them. One thing that I do want to note is for this series, I will be doing the post game, and between this recorded file and my personal file, I'm gonna get the platinum trophy on this. So if it doesn't happen within the recordings, I'll make sure that a screenshot or something is included in the series playthrough towards the end. Now, I didn't do any of the post games for any of the other Dragon Quests, but I do want to include it here. Another medical herb, which fortunately with Gemma here, we don't have to worry about too much. And there's a little offshoot of the beaten path here. I know with the map, there's going to be complaints from some people like, oh my god, it's a hallway. It's not. Like, You can already tell, looking at these stairs going down here, at some point the water's going to drain and we'll be able to come back down here. So we'll be able to revisit older areas, see different branching paths. It's just this is quite clearly the tutorial dungeon. Ooh, another sparkly. Chunk of copper ore. Yes, there's also a crafting mechanic in this game. Similar to, we haven't gotten to it in the Conquest yet, but 8 and 9 had alchemy pots. So yeah, we're going to be able to do stuff with different ores and everything that we find across the world. So it would behoove us to find as much shit as possible so that we can craft stuff. God, barking at enemies to freeze them. It's like we have Gabo back from Dragon Warrior 7. Using the Bork strats. Okay, what's ahead, girl? What's up here? What do we got? Also, if you notice the music, remember that from the earlier games in caves? Yeah. This game so far...
Look at all this fog. Is this normal, do you think?
So far, it feels like a love letter to a lot of the past Dragon Quest games.
Help! Help me!
We have Tor, which was in Dragon Warrior 7, Spirit of the Land. We have music from the earlier games. You'll see some other names that are reflective.
Quick, you have to help him.
I mean, do I have to help him? Little shit wandered his way up here on his own. He can wander back.
It's not fog at all. It's more monsters.
Well, you know what monsters are good for? They're good for killing. Now these smogs, as I discovered earlier, unless they're frozen with fear or paralyzed or something, are very resistant to physical attacks. See, they're missing there. And these guys can do a shitload of damage. Like, I nearly died in this fight earlier. Which is why Jimma's here with herbs and potions. So you can use your magic and not have to worry. Like, this battle is intended to teach you. Yeah, like, that hit me for 13 on the last playthrough. And I was down to, like, 4 health. But yeah, this fight wants to teach you, use your magic. Sometimes just hitting enemies isn't the best strategy. I think it should still be frozen with fear, yeah, so I think its evasion goes down when that happens.
Tough little blighters, aren't they?
And level 3. Oh, we have a charm stat. I wonder if that's like the appearance or the style stat. Magical mending, magical might. I think that might be attack and defense, or at least healing. Deafness, agility. Okay.
I'm sorry, Gemma. I only came up here because I thought it'd be funny to jump out and surprise you.
Well, you little window licker, cross-eyed, bowl-cut having dude.
But then those monsters appeared.
Clearly you make poor decisions.
What in the world is going on? I never heard anything about monsters appearing on the tour before.
Okay, trying to get readjusted here.
But never mind that now. Whatever were you thinking? You could have been killed. You take Sandy and get back to the village this instant.
Okay, getting rid of our
Yes,
tutorial
Gemma.
crutch
Sorry, Gemma.
guest character that takes no damage and does damage and absorbs hits for us.
You saved my bacon again.
Bacon.
I knew you were tough, but crikey, you really have grown into quite the hero.
I mean, it's in my name.
Not far to the top now.
And, of course, it's starting to rain.
Typical.
It's starting to rain. Let's get a move on. Sorry, that... I'm gonna have to get used to not just mashing through dialogue. Oh, rewarded for collecting 10 different types of items. Okay. I don't think there were any other items on here. So we just go up the mountain. And nothing to explore there. We get a sidle across here. Yes, a word that most people discovered thanks to Wind Waker. It always confuses me when people are like, oh, we sidle across. No, sidle. But you shouldn't make fun of people mispronouncing a word because that means they learned it by reading it. Whether that be in a video game or a book, wherever. They're at least trying. And back into cave. We can get out of the rain a little bit here. I don't think there's any more enemies or collectibles on the way up here. And the summit, as we can see by this little kind of spermy-shaped map, it's just on the other side of this little opening.
Here we are at last. It's such a shame about the weather. I was really looking forward to that view.
Oh, it's okay.
Well, we better say the prayer and get this ceremony over with, eh? What was that?
Looks like something doesn't want us to say the prayer. And we stepped into Captain Toad Treasure Tracker with a Hades Condor.
Help me! Help!
Hero 11, you know what to do. Now we have grunts for our voice, otherwise we're kind of a silent protagonist. It's coming back around. Oh, hello. Birthmark tattoo crest thing. Looks like it's just gonna cast fucking Thordane on it, which I am entirely cool with. Bye-bye. Wish we could have gotten the experience points for that, but, you know, I'll take living. We're alive. I'm gonna have to get out of the...
Wow! That great big flash of lightning. It was almost like you made it happen.
I really have to get out of the habit of reading the dialogue every time. I'm not used to the voice acting in games. We haven't gotten to that yet in the Conquest, which will start in 8.
Look! The mark on your hand.
And it's back to normal now.
Oh, it stopped. Well, we can worry about that later.
I'm sure it won't have anything to do with the plot.
All I know is that you saved me yet again. I don't know what I'd do without you.
Probably fall off a mountain.
No, we really had better be finishing up this ceremony.
Okie dokes.
Humble folk of Cobblestone, great land spirits, hearth and home. Lift your voices up in prayer. Sing it across all Erdrea.
Yeah, Erdrea is the name of the
Blessed are
wilderness.
we since days of yore. Let it be so forevermore.
In the Japanese, it's either Lotrea or Loteria, or Lotorea. So it's definitely a nod to Erdrick Loto from
Wow! Look!
from the first 3 games. So like I said, there is so much just Dragon Quest love and fan service packed into this game. Not like the anime titty styles fan service, but just like nods to, hey, here's some throwback stuff from the series. Hope you
Just
appreciate
goes
it.
on and on and on.
Okay, calm down, Fiora.
Whoever dreamed up this ceremony must have had this in mind. They wanted to show us how huge our world really is.
And a huge world it is, that we will get to discover.
Well, that's it. It's all over and now we're grown-ups. Should we head down and tell Grandad and everyone?
I suppose.
They'll all be waiting for us at the bottom.
yes. Now, naturally, you don't want to rush down anywhere and miss out on picking up some good. Okay, let's get going. I think that was all that's up here. Here, 11 and Jim will make their way back down to the bottom of the tour. And now, we have everyone wanting to greet us on the way back down. Woof, woof, woof! Thanks for bringing Cole back safely, Sandy. Good girl. I knew you could do it. That girl is the bestest boy. I'm sorry, Jim. I thought it'd be funny to jump out and surprise you. I'm an idiot. I'll never do it again. I promise. My Cole told me everything. He told me how you fought off those horrible foggy monsters. I don't know how to thank you. And you and Jim aren't hurt either. Oh, that's such a relief. Well, the main thing is that everyone's alright. You never be too careful with monsters around. We owe you one here, 11. And Jim and Sandy, too. That lightning was terrifying. Were you a lot up there? I'm ever so sorry you poor things had to go through such an awful ordeal. So you did it. You've been to the top of the tour. Well, you'd better let the mayor know. Everyone will be desperate to hear how you got up there. Don't keep them waiting, will you? Ah, yes. Setting out on a grand adventure. When the lightning struck Tor, I must confess that I feared for your safety, but it seems that you escaped unharmed. Truly, we must give thanks to the spirit of the land, who watches over us all. You do that, buddy. You do that. Yeah, you're back, you're back. Your mom said to tell you she's gone home to make you tea. That lightning was so scary, the sky flashed and there was this big bang, boom, exploded. Well done, you two. So glad to see you safe. All right, thank God you're back.
We're back safe and sound, Grandad.
Indeed you are, my dear. Thank the spirits for that. When we saw lightning striking up there, we got a little worried, I have to tell you. Well, I never. Sounds like it's nothing short of a miracle that you made it back in one piece. Well, there's no doubt about it, the spirit of the land was watching over you. Now tell me, my dear, how was the view from the top?
It was wonderful. I saw the sea stretch into the horizon and the sunlight playing on the water and... Oh, I've never seen anything like it in my life.
You're true Cobblestonians now. Only we have the pleasure of looking out over the world of Erdrea in such breathtaking fashion, you know. You're still young, and the day may yet come when you decide to leave Cobblestone behind. I hope our little ceremony has opened your eyes to a little of what may await you out there. Now, it's high time we were heading back. I'm sure your mother is eager to hear how things went, young man. Don't keep poor Amber in suspense.
Okay. You heard him. Don't keep her in suspense.
Come on, you. Home time.
Oh, home time. Items with the pink icon will alter the appearance of the people who wear them, but be aware that such items come in sets, all of which must be equipped before your new look can be locked in. Check the item details to find out what may be required. Yeah, kind of like our DQ8 gear. And we get little Dark Souls-like loading screen stuff. However, now that we've made it back to Cobblestone, I'm going to go ahead and call it a day here. I'm going to go ahead and save here. Coming of age. We got a trophy here last time. We got our first trophy. Cobblestone. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and call it a day and save so I can get this episode out on launch day. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you enjoy this, and I look forward to showing you everything that I can from this game. If you're looking for stream content from it, maybe in larger chunks, definitely check out Saigon Cat or High Spirits, who I know have been doing launch day streams and are continuing to do stuff like that. Saigon particularly is a friend of mine, and I'd appreciate showing him as much support as you guys have shown me throughout this series. Thank you again. Hope you have a wonderful day.